Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. First of all, thank you for giving me the opportunity to present my research proposal. My name is Endah Rahayu, and today I would like to present my research entitled Analysis of Students Speaking Difficulties at the 8th grade of SMP Kampung Quran Al-Fusha. Speaking is one of the four English language skills and plays an important role in communication. Through speaking, students can express their ideas, opinions, and feelings. However, many Indonesian students still experience difficulties in speaking English because English is a foreign language. These difficulties may come from both internal and external factors. This research is conducted at SMP Kampung Quran Al-Fusha, which implement both the formal curriculum and boarding school curriculum. Therefore, I am interested in analyzing the students' speaking difficulties and the factors causing those difficulties. The next is identification of the problem. Based on my preliminary observation, I found several problems. First, students have difficulties expressing their ideas in English. Second, they have limited vocabulary. Third, they often make grammatical and pronunciation errors. And lastly, both internal and external factors influence their speaking performance. And for the next is research question. Based on those problems, the studies focus on two research questions. The first is, what are the speaking difficulties experienced by the 8th grade students? And the second is, what factors cause the students speaking difficulties? And this is slide for the research objective. Based on the research question, the objectives of study are: first, to analyze the students' speaking difficulties. Second, to identify the factor causing the students' speaking difficulties. And the next topic is theoretical review. In the studies, speaking is defined as the ability to communicate ideas, opinions, and feelings through spoken language. Speaking is considered an important language skill because it enables effective communication in academic and daily life. According to the literature, students' speaking difficulties can be identified through four aspects. First, pronunciation, then vocabulary, and third, grammar, and for the last is fluency. Meanwhile, the factors causing speaking difficulties are divided into two categories. The first is internal factors, including physiological factors, language competence, and topical knowledge. And the second is external factors, including performance condition, language environment, and speaking problems. The next topic is previous related studies. I reviewed 3 previous studies related to speaking difficulties. Those studies found that students commonly experience problems in pronunciation, vocabulary, grammar, and speaking anxiety. However, this research has a different focus because it is conducted at SMP Kampung Quran Al-Fusha, which applies both the formal curriculum and the boarding school curriculum. This unique educational environment becomes the research gap of this study. The next slide is conceptual framework. This conceptual framework illustrates the flow of my research. The research begins with the students. Then the study analyzes the students' speaking difficulties based on four indicators: pronunciation, vocabulary, grammar, and fluency. Next, the study identifies the factors causing those difficulties, which are divided into internal and external factors. Finally, all of these findings are analyzed to answer the research question. The next is research method. This research uses a qualitative descriptive method. The research will be conducted at SMP Kampung Quran Al-Fusa. The participants are the English teacher and 8th grade students. And for the next is data analysis. The collected data will be analyzed using the interactive model proposed by Miles and Huberman. The analysis consists of three steps. The first is data reduction, where the writer selects and classifies relevant data. The second is data display, where the data are presented in descriptive form. The last step is conclusion drawing and verification, where the writer draws conclusion and verifies the findings through triangulation. And for the last topic is data validity. To ensure the credibility of the data, this study used triangulation. The first source triangulation by comparing information for the English teacher and students. The second is technique triangulation by comparing data obtained from observation, interviews, and documentation. This process helps ensure that the research findings are valid and trustworthy. And in conclusion, this study aims to analyze students' speaking difficulties and identify the factors using those difficulties. It is expected that the findings of this research can provide useful information for English teachers and students to improve the teaching and learning of speaking. Thank you for your attention. I would be happy to answer your question and receive your suggestion. And thank you for watching. I am Endah Rahayu. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.